Hi friends. So today we'll see how to take input from the user, how to take integer input, how do you take string input. Okay, all these kind of things we'll be seeing. So what you have to understand here is, if you want to take an input, don't you think you have to do some task here? For example, if you wanted the dog to bark, you have to call a method. You have to call a method. A dog, you bark, you have to tell. Bark was a method there. Same thing like that. If you want to take input from the user, you have to call a method here. You have to call a method. So in Java, if you want to take input, you have to call one method. In C or C++, okay, to print something. Okay, I hope even if you don't know C or C++ in depth, I think you know how to print something in C programming. Maybe, yes. To print something in C programming, okay, what's the method name? The method name is printf, right? The method name was printf, okay. And to take input from the user, the method name was scanf in the C, okay. So here, if I take this color black, okay, in C programming, the method name was what? Print, okay, printf. This was the method name, and what are you told within this method? It used to print something in the screen. That is the way to print, okay. How to take input from the user? To take input from the user, the method was scanf. What's the method? Method is the scanf method in C or C++. But in Java, there is a method. Okay, there is a method called as, okay, to take integer input. The method is next int. You are telling, give me the next integer. That is what you are telling. If you notice, in the C programming, scanf is used to take integer also, to take string also, to take float also, to take all the other data types. Scanf is used in C. But in Java is more specific, right? If you want integer input, you have to call this method called as int. So what this will take? It will take integer input, int input, okay. I want to take float input, then it is next float, where f is in uppercase. This is the method you have to call. If you want to take double input, you have to tell next double, okay, next double, like this. I hope it is clear. Sir, how do I take string input? To take string input, you have two options. Either you can tell, hey, give me the next, right? Give me the next. Where in other case you can tell, hey, next line. So these are the two methods to take string input, okay, string input. And next double is to take double input, okay. And as the name says, this next float is for float input. I hope this is clear. There are many other methods like this, but what we'll be seeing is majority, next integer and next line or next, these are the things which we'll be seeing. Of course, there is a method called as next long also, next long, where it will take an integer greater than the integer here, okay. So this is what we will be doing, okay. So these are the methods. So what I want you to understand is, in C programming, what's the method to take input? Scanf is a method. In Java, what's the method? There are many methods, right? Now understand one thing. Didn't I tell you in Java, whatever you write should be within a class? Yes. In the last class we had seen, we had a dog example, right? Class dog. If you had seen, the bark method was inside the dog class. Agree? Yes, same thing like that. Whatever methods you are seeing here, all these methods should be present within a class. That's how Java is. Which means, okay, there is a class. What's the class name? I will not tell now. There is a class named as something. Inside that class something, there are many methods. For example, there is a method called as next int. I want you to understand that. Then there is a method called as next line, right? Then there is a method called as next double. Yes, many other methods are there. Due to the space constraints, I am not writing those methods here, but I want you to understand, inside this class, all those methods are there. So what is this class name, sir, if you are thinking, okay, the class name is scanner, okay, class name is scanner. So here I can write, the class name is scanner, okay, where S is in uppercase because class name starts from uppercase, okay. So what's the class name? Class scanner. This is the class name. So why are you telling us the class name, sir, if you are thinking? Because I hope remember in the last class I had told, right, if there is a class called as dog, class dog, inside that there was a method, right, void bark was the method, void bark was the method. Inside this some SOP was there, and in the main method, right, public static void main, in the main method, hey, if you want to call the bark method, if you want the bark method to execute, what did I tell you? If you want any method to execute, you have to see that method is present in which class. That method is present in the class dog, so create the object of dog, then you call the method. I hope you remember, right? It was very important point in the last class where I have told, if you want to call any method, you have to see that method is present in which class, create the object of that class. Same thing like that here also. I want to execute next int method. What you have to see? That you have to see, a next int method is present in which class, create object of that class. That is what you have to do. I hope it is clear. So you want to execute next int method. Why? Because you want an integer input. So if you want to execute next int method, you have to see that next int method is present in which class. That is present in the class scanner. So how did you create a dog object? Dog is equal to new dog. How do you create scanner object? Scanner, okay. Scan is equals to new scanner. This is what you have to tell, okay. Double N here, okay. New scanner. What you have to tell? Previously it was dog equal to new dog. Here now it is scanner is equal to new scanner. Simple, okay. Now it is incomplete here. What is incomplete? I'll tell a little later. But now what you have to understand is, since you have told something like this, since you have created a new object, new means it will allocate a memory where in the heap. This object has an address. What is that address? Okay. So what I'll be doing now is, yes, let me show it to you in a new page here. So since you executed that line new in the heap, okay, this is our heap. In the heap, one object is created like this. This object has address 1000, okay. So you are executing this line. What is that line? You are telling a scan is equals to, okay. So if you want me to explain in the reverse way, then it is like this. You are telling a new keyword. Now JVM will ask, hey, I am about to create a memory. You tell me perfectly how much memory you want. I'll tell, hey, I don't know. Go to the scanner class, right? Go to the scanner class, and inside that scanner class, what and all methods are there, copy that and create an object. I'm telling. So it will go to the scanner class. Like this, okay. Now where is scanner class present? In the code segment, because all the codes are in the code segment. So it will go to the code segment. It will search where is this scanner class. It will copy those scanner class methods and will paste it here. So what is a method? Methods are void. Yes, let me write like this. That is next int, okay. Next int. Then it is next float. Then it is next double. Then it is next line, something like this. All these methods are present where? Inside the object, right? Okay. So right, I have told you where if you create an object and you don't store the reference, garbage collector will collect that. Sir, what is this garbage collector? Please explain class if you are talking. See, I'll tell you one thing. What you can do is you can go to YouTube here and you can search Core Java by Durga. Hit enter. Okay. Core Java by Durga. So what will happen is you will get one playlist where you can see all these playlists here. Okay. You can click any one of them. Okay. He will be explaining you Core Java in depth. So I don't want you to waste your time, okay. As soon as you finish this class, you simply keep on watching the video. Each and every video he'll explain in detail. Core Java he'll explain. So watch Core Java from there. Okay, fine. I hope this concept you have understood here. So you created object. So you want to store its reference. So you are telling, hey, give its reference to a variable called as scan. Now scan is a local variable. So local variable memories are allocated in stack. So I'll tell there is a stack here, right? There is a stack here where in the stack there is a variable called as scan. Okay. What is the scan content? Scan content will be whatever you have given here. You are told give this new object reference to scan. So new object reference is 1000. That 1000 is stored here, which means it is pointing to this object. Scan is of what type? You have to tell, this variable is of what type? It is storing the address of a scanner object. So it is of the scanner. So I have to tell like this: a scanner scan is equal to new scanner. This is what I have to tell, right? Okay, so I hope you have understood here. Okay, so it is stack. Okay, so after executing this line, then what will happen if you are thinking? Okay, what will happen is everything is ready. Now there is a person who will actually take input, right? Because if you want to take input, don't you think you need a person there? Till now there was no object, till now there was no person, but now you can see an object, which means that person will take the input now, right? What is that person's name? That person's name is what? Scan here. That person's name is scan. So if you want to take input, next time you have to tell using the person's name, right? Using the person's name you have to tell. A scan, give me the next integer. A scan, give me the next line. All those things you have to tell. Okay. So how do I write a code for that? Watch here. You have to tell like this. A scan you have to tell. A scan, you are calling the scan. Means go inside the scan object. So this is the scan object. In that object, which method you want? I want the integer part. So if you want the integer part, what's the method here? The method is, next int. Next int is a method like this. When you tell like this, what will happen? It will wait for you in the keyboard and it will take one input. Whatever it has taken input, is it of what type? Integer type. I want to store it in a variable n of the type int. So this is what I will do. Please take this screenshot. So I hope you have taken this screenshot. Now what I will do is I will be executing this code now. Okay. So here first I will tell. First I have to create a scanner object. So I will tell like this. Scanner scan is equals to new scanner. Okay. New scanner. Yes. What I have told, I have not told you. Okay, I have not told you on concept here. That is, you have told scanner, but you did not tell scanner will scan. Scanner will scan your something, right? You have not told what is that something. You have to tell scan my keyboard, because it has the opportunity to not only scan keyboard but to scan the files also. So you tell me, do you want to scan the files or do you want to scan the keyboard? You want to scan the keyboard, right? That keyboard you have to mention for this, because scanner is a person who can scan anything. You have to tell clearly what do you want to scan. Do you want to scan the keyboard so that you can take the input, or do you want to scan the file which is stored in the files, in the C drive, in the D drive? Yes, that is what you have to tell. Now I have to tell, scan from the keyboard, because user is going to enter from the keyboard. So how do I tell that take from the keyboard? Now I want you to understand something. Okay, that there is something called a standard input and there is something called a standard output. As the name says, what do you think? Okay, you have a computer with you, right? You have a mobile with you. What do you think is a normal output procedure? Which is that device, or which is that place where you can get the output? Yes, one of them is a speaker. Speaker is an output, right? But are you using speaker every time? All the day, are you using speaker? No, right? You will only use when you play something, right? Or you will only use when you want to watch a movie, something like that. Yes, so that is not a standard output. I hope you are understanding, right? It is used sometimes or other times, that's it, right? Then what is the standard output in the mobile? That is a screen. Screen is a standard output, because whether you are watching a movie, whether you are seeing a game, every time the screen should be on. So that is the standard output. For in the laptop also, our screen is the standard output, right? So whenever you are telling in the computer science, right, you are telling standard output, it means it is a screen. So what do you think is the standard input in the computer? So there are many inputs for the computer, right? The thing is, there is a microphone. You can speak something, it is getting recorded. Yes, one of the input. You can use the sensors. Maybe you can use maybe USB, one more input. Yes, but what is the standard input? The standard input is the keyboard, because every time we will be using the keyboard. That's the standard input. So I want you to understand that. So since this is very common, the standard output screen and standard input keyboard are very common, they have only created one object for you. They have only given one code, where if you write that code, it is for the keyboard, like that. Now what is that keyboard? That object is in. Input. Input means in. I want you to understand. What is the meaning of in? In is a object. Can you see that scan is a object here? Scan is a object. Same thing like that. There is a object, which is pointing to the keyboard here. There is a object which is pointing to the keyboard. So whatever you type on the keyboard will be going inside that in object. Okay, sir, this object is present in which class? This object is present in a class called as a system, like this. So you have to tell system.in. Now don't you think, I have already told you, right? In method here, in method, don't think it is a static, sorry, not a method, in object. Don't think it's a static object. It is a static object. Why? Because you are using a class name to call that. If you are using a class name to call anything, it is a static. It's a static. So this is what you have to tell. Again, what is a scanner? Scanner will scan anything. So we have to tell, should you scan a file or should you scan the keyboard? If you want to scan the keyboard, you have to tell, it is a standard input. It's not a standard output. It is a standard input. Keyboard is a standard input. And this standard input is already given to us by the name called as in. By a name called as in. In is a object here. But this object is present in which class? It is a static and it is present in system class. So you should always tell system.in. Scanner scan is equal to new scanner system.in. You have to by heart this. I have already given explanation where you don't have to by heart, but if you not understood, definitely you can by heart. After this, what will happen, sir? What will happen means a new object is created. So how do you take input? Yes, first let me print something to the screen. Right? I'll tell a system.out.println. So I hope you are able to understand now, right? Yes. What is this out here? This system.in is a standard input. System.out, what you are printing to the screen, that is a standard output. That is a standard output here. So inside that output object, don't you think D is an object? If I tell dog D equal to new dog, don't you think D is an object? Yeah. For the object, D.bark you will tell, right? Why? Because bark method is present in the dog class. So you will tell D.bark. Same thing like that. Your out is a method now. Out is an object now. You have to tell inside that object there is a method called as println. There is a method called as println. So that is what is happening here. Now don't worry much about the system.out.println, because as a programmer it is not important for us. But as a Java programmer, or you can tell as a Java practitioner, you should be knowing this thing. That's why I had given you the link of that Durgasoft. Go and watch the Durgasoft core Java. Maybe he'll be explaining more in detail about this. Okay, fine. So if you tell something, what I want to tell? I want to tell a user, a user, enter your age, a user, I'll tell a user, enter your age. Like this I'll tell. So don't you think if I compile and execute, what will happen? So I have compiled, okay, let's see. And I will be executing. So it will tell one thing, a user enter your age. As soon as it prints something, don't you think it is telling press any key to continue? Which means the program is ended. So if I press any key to continue, the program is ended. Right? Don't you think after printing that line, enter your age, after printing that line, don't you think it should have waited for you to enter something? It should have waited for you, right? Now how can I make it wait? I have to tell, give me the next integer, because next int will take the input from the user. But next int is present in which class? It is present in scanner class, and you already created the object. So scan.nextInt, you have to tell like this. So this, whatever it will take the integer, I'll store it in integer type n variable. Then after storing this, I'll print, a system.out.println, right? I'll print something. What I'll print? I'll print the entered, okay? The entered number is what? The entered number is n. Entered number is n. Because whatever he has entered, okay, I want to print that number. How do I print that number? I'll be telling n. But tell me, can I do something like this? No, it doesn't know what to do. Why? Because you are telling you have to print exactly, because whatever you tell within double quotes, it will print exactly in the screen. So it will print exactly the entered number is, it will print. And there is one more variable. You are telling whatever n value is there, you print that n value as it is. But there is a string, double quotes, there is a variable. Did you tell what you want to do? No. You have to tell add them together. Right? You have to tell add them together. Because you have given two objects and you have not told anything. You will get confused. So what you have to tell? Plus you have to tell here. For this string, for this string, yes, in Java you have to understand that whenever you want to concat, whenever you want to join, you have to tell plus. Plus is for addition, I agree, but one more plus is for string concatenation. Okay, now I'll compile and I'll execute and I'll talk more about the string concatenation. Just have patience here. Okay, when I execute, so it is telling, hey, user enter your age. As you can see now, is it telling press any key to continue? No. Why? Because it is waiting for me to enter one number. Now what has happened? What has happened is the control, it executed this line. After that, now the control is here. The control is here. It is not even giving the value to the n, because it will only give the value to the n if you press the enter button. If you press the enter button. Okay, in that case, let me press the enter button, right? Let me press the enter button. I am pressing enter button, nothing is happening. I am pressing enter button, nothing is happening. Why? Because it is not important that you have to press enter button. It is more important that you enter a number and press the enter button. Because it is asking the next integer part. When you enter, did you enter an integer part? No. That's why it will still wait for you to enter the integer. Maybe I'll enter, my age is 12, right? My age is 12. So I have entered 12, and when I press enter, see, after I press enter, what will happen? I'll tell you. When you press enter, whatever the entered value is there, it is given to the variable n. It is given to the variable n. So what's the n value now? It is 12. After that, the control will come below and it will print the entered number is plus n. What's the n value? 12. 12 is printed here. That's why we are getting the output. The entered number is 12. So I hope that everyone has understood in this how to take input. So if I enter 12, okay, please take this screenshot. Yes, you can take this screenshot here. So I hope you have taken this screenshot. Okay, now next int, right? Next I can tell maybe next float, right? If I am taking next float, watch here carefully. Okay, what it will tell? Watch here. Incompatible types, right? Possible logic conversion from float to int. What it is telling is, hey, you are asking this next float. You are asking the next float. So float I will give you, but how can we store it in a integer type variable? Agree? That is why here I'll tell, okay, I'll be storing it in float type variable only. So I think it is clear for you that if you are using next float, you have to use a float data type. Okay. So I'll compile and execute. Yes. Enter your age. My age is maybe 12.5. See, the entered number is 12.5. So in this way you can keep on changing, right? But if you want a string, don't see, this is the common mistake which people will do. If you want an integer, you will tell next int. If you want a double, you will tell next double. So if you want a string, can you tell next string here? No. Okay. If you want a string, you better tell next. You better tell next or next line. So if I tell next, let's see what will happen. If it is a string, next will give me what type? String type. So I'll be storing it in a string type variable n. String type variable n. So let's see here. I'll compile. Okay, I'll compile. And when I execute, okay. Enter your age. Yes, I have not changed the message here. I'll tell my name is Dheeraj. So enter number is Dheeraj. Sir, when I'm executing, it is asking me to enter a name. But since it is asking me to enter a name, can I enter number here? Yes, you can enter number. Why? Why? Because your next is a method which takes a string. What is a string? String means anything. String means anything. That is, if it is a number, it's a string. If it's a dot, it's a string. It's a decimal value, it's a string. Anything is considered as string. Is it clear? Brackets is a string. Any characters which is on the keyboard is a string. That is why if you use next, you can take integer also, you can take a string also. Anything you can take. Okay. Then let me maybe right here I'll tell next int. If I tell next int, don't you think I have to give integer only? Yes. Watch here, I'm compiling. Okay, what it is expecting? It is expecting me to give an integer. it is expecting me to give an integer, but I will not give an integer. I want to write my name, my name, DHERAJ. I will be writing my name. This is what happens. Okay, this is called as runtime error. Runtime error. Okay, or you can call it as runtime exception here. So it was waiting for me to enter a number, but I had not entered a number. I had entered a string. Can that integer n, can it handle a string? No. That is why this is the exception we will be getting. I hope this is clear, right? So now, how to use next line here? Okay, what's the demerit if next and next line both are taking the input of a string? What's the actual difference between them? Let's see. So here it is a string type. Maybe let me tell it as yes, right? String type yes. So if the variable is yes, I'll be changing it here to yes also. And here I'll tell enter your name, right? Enter your name. The entered name is, so appropriately I'll be printing the messages also. Yes, the entered name is fine. So let's see here. I'll compile. So it is asking me to enter my name, right? Yes. So I'll compile and execute. Let's see. So my name, right? My name is Dheeraj. I'll tell my name is Dheeraj. Yes, the entered name is Dheeraj. Yes, everything is perfect. But what's the problem here? When I execute again, okay, my name is not actually Dheeraj, right? It is actually Dheeraj Kumar. It is actually Dheeraj Kumar. And when I hit enter, what it is telling? It is telling the entered name is Dheeraj. It is only giving me the first word. It is only giving me the first word. So this is the problem in the next, right? Why? Because the next, what it will think? It will think that hey, until it sees a space, yes, that is the first word. So next will give you only the first word here. Then sir, how to take all the name? How to take all the word? Because if you go to south, okay, if you go to south, they'll be having a huge name, right? Their name, their father's name, their grandfather's name. So here also we want that to happen. So in that case, you have to use next line, right? You have to use next line here. And when you use next line, see what happens here. I'll compile, and when I execute, okay, I'll be entering my name. So it is waiting for me to enter my name. I'll tell it is Dheeraj Kumar, and yes, it has become Umar here. Umar, okay. So the enter name is Dheeraj Kumar. So I hope you have understood what's the difference between next and the next line here, right? Yes. So if I think you have understood here what's the difference. Okay. So more on this we'll see in the future classes, right? How do I take input? All these things we'll be doing when you're solving HackerRank problems. So right now, I hope you have understood what you have to do, right? Now, yes, you can take this screenshot, right? You can take this screenshot. So I hope you have taken the screenshot. Now you take the screenshot of what happens when you use next method here, right? Yes. So that also you have to take screenshot. So let's compile and execute. Yes, Dheeraj Kumar, right? Yes, I'll hit enter and it will only give me Dheeraj. Yeah, take this screenshot also. So yes, I think it's done. Okay, let's close it. So this is how to take integer. Okay, this is how to take input. So I want to talk to you about string concatenation, right? I want to talk to you about string concatenation. So most of you might be already knowing this. So here, watch here. Now whatever you tell in double quotes, it is called as a string, right? It is called as a string. Your name, all those things you can enter that. So there is one operator, there is one operator which is called as plus. There is one operator which is called as plus. What will this plus do? If you tell 5 plus 3, okay, if you tell 5 plus 3, this plus operator can act two types. It can act like two types. Either it can do integer addition like this. What is 5 plus 3? 5 plus 3 is 8. So it can do integer addition and print output as 8. Or it can do a string concatenation, right? It can do a string concatenation. For example, if you write hi, this is called as a string concatenation. So what is a string concatenation? See, if you are using plus operator, and after using plus operator, you have to see that hey, whether the left side or the right side is any one of them, are they a string? You have to see. If they are a string, then as it is they are joined. It is string concatenation. Is it clear? They are joined as it is. I want you to understand that. Okay, that's why you are getting the output as high 3. Maybe if you are new to this, please take this screenshot. If you already know about this, don't worry. Okay, yes, I hope you have taken the screenshot. Now let me explain it to you like this, right? 2 plus 3 plus, okay, I'll tell high. Yes, because in this example you will get this complete clarity. Okay, what it is, plus 2 plus 3, right? So what will be the output, right? Yes, I will give you some 5 seconds of time to pause the video and think what will be the output. Yes, so let me show it to you. What will be the output here. Yes, let's see here. It is 2 plus 3 plus high plus what it is? Again 2 plus 3. Okay, 2 plus 3. Okay. So let me change the color of this color high so that you will clearly understand in each step, right? In each step how the strings are getting changed. Now tell me which operator has the highest precedence. Don't you think plus operator is the only lonely operator here? Yes, which means you have to solve it from left to right. You have to solve it from left to right. So first is this plus operator. So you have to solve only that operator. Okay, you have to solve only this operator now. So what is 2 plus 3? 2 plus 3 is 5, right? 2 plus 3 is 5. So answer will be 5 plus other operator, keep it as it is. So I am explaining you the procedure here. What is happening? High, right? This is what is happening. Next what happens? Next what happens is from left to right, it will search for the next plus operator. This is the next plus operator. So in this plus operator, tell me, is for this plus operator there are 2 operands. Are both the operands are it of the type integer? Is it of the type integer? No, it is not of the type integer. So one of them is integer and one of them is string. Then it is called as a string concatenation. Okay, it is called as a string concatenation. And what happens in string concatenation? In string concatenation there is a rule. A string plus anything is a string. String plus integer, string plus float, string plus boolean, string plus anything is a string, and that's why 5 plus high will become joined as it is. It will become 5 high. It will become 5 high, which will be a string now. Which will be a string. The other operators will be there as it is. 2. If I change the color, it is plus 2 plus 3. Then which is that addition operator which is there in the next? The next addition operator is this operator. For this operator there are 2 operands where one of them is string. Even if one of them is string, both of them will become a string when I join them. So the output will be like this. 5 high plus 2 will be 5 high 2, because string concatenation as it is, it will be joined. After that there is one last operator, that is plus, right? Yes. So here it is plus 3 which will be remaining. And again string plus integer, it will become a string. So it will become 5 high 2 3, which will be a string. I hope that the concept about string concatenation is clear here. Okay, so please take this screenshot. After you take this screenshot, I will execute this and show it to you. The output will be 5 high 2 3. Okay, so yes, I hope you have taken the screenshot. Now let me go here and let me show it to you. The output will be 5 high 2 3. So answer is 5 high 2 3. Okay, you can take this screenshot of the output also. Right. Okay. Yes. So let's let's write yesterday's program using the integers input, right? So I will ask the user, hey, enter 2 numbers so that I can find a GCD for you, right? Yes. So first I have to tell, right? First I have to create an object of the scanner. So it is scanner scan is equals to new scanner. Okay, new scanner system dot in. Okay, system dot in. So here I have to ask, right? What I have to print? First you have to print, before taking the input you have to print something, right? You have to print something. So you have to tell here system dot out dot println, right? enter the first number. Here I have to tell, you know, enter the first number to find GCD. Okay. Okay. So when user reads this, he will enter something on the keyboard. Whatever he has entered, I will tell, hey, int n is equals to whatever user has entered, you know, that is present in scan.next int. This is what I will tell. Whatever user has entered, give it to the n variable. The same thing I have to tell again. I have to tell a system.out.println. Okay, I have to tell println, enter the second number. Enter the second number to find GCD. Now whatever user has entered, same thing I'll tell again next int only. But here the variable should be what now? I'll tell it as m. So I have two variables now, right? I have n and m where it will contain the numbers. Now definitely I have an option here that I can directly write the whole program in the main method, but you as a programmer should not do that. What you do is you have to think now, right? Yes, I'll write a method called as GCD. I'll write a method called as GCD. This GCD will accept two numbers, that is n and m. Okay, n and m, it will accept two integers, and whatever it has accepted, finally it will give me an HCF, you know, highest common factor. I'll be storing it in HCF of the type integer. Or I can tell it will give me one result, okay, and I have to print that result. So system.out, okay, .println. I will print like this, you know, what I will print, the HCF is, okay, the GCD is plus result. Whatever value do you have in result, you know, you print that result as it is. That's what you are telling. So now everything is ready, but one thing is not ready. What is that? You have not told how this GCD should behave. When GCD gets the two numbers, how it has to behave, you have not told. So you have to tell it now. There is a GCD method. So where should I write GCD method? Don't make the mistake of writing GCD method here. You should not define a GCD method inside another method. You have to come outside the main method like this. This is outside the main method within the same class. So here you have to write a GCD of, there are two numbers, right? Yes. One is n and one is m. There are two numbers, one is n and one is m. One thing you have to understand, n, okay, whatever you have told, did you declare previously? No, this is coming for the first time. You are telling, no sir, it is not coming for the first time, because first time it came here, you are telling, but that was a different method, right? This is a different method. For this method, you tell me, is n coming for the first time or second time? First time, so declare that variable int n. Here also m is coming for the first time, declare that variable int m. Now what happens is, whatever you have passed as n here will be collected in this variable, whatever number you have passed here will be collected in this variable m. And you have to declare, you have to define what type it returns. Yes, you have given two number. What will it do with the two number? Will it print in the same method, or will it give the answer back to the where it was called from? That is what you have to tell. And as you can see, there is a person who is ready to collect the answer from the GCD. So if that person is ready to collect, that GCD has to give the number. What type? Integer type, because it is collecting in integer type result. So I'll tell return type is integer. And you know that if you want to call a method without using object, right, I have to make it as a static here. I'll make it as a static, so that easily I can call. And again I'll tell you, if you have not understood what is static, don't worry, it is not a programming concept. Go to core Java, learn that and come back, right? Yes, because you don't have to worry here, you know. So you just make static, you know, you just make everything static, that's it. If you don't want to learn core Java, that's simple, you just make everything static. That simple it is. Okay, next. In this method, what do I have to tell, right? Let's see. I want to find the GCD of two numbers, means highest common factor. First let me write the program of common factor. So if I would write a program for common factor, I'll be writing like this: int I is equal to 0. Should I start from 0? No, I should start from 1, because factor, there is no zeroth factor. Factors from 1 we have. I is equal less than or equal to n, I plus plus, right? I plus plus. What do I tell here? I'll check if that n mod I, does this I divide n equal to 0? You should not only divide I and an operator, that m also should be divided by I equal to 0. If I divides both n and m, then that I is a factor. That I is a factor. Okay? I is a factor. But do I want to print all the factors, or do I want the last factor? Because that's the highest common factor. I want the last factor. If you want the last factor, yes, you keep on storing the intermediate factor. So by default, you will get the last factor. Yesterday we have already seen it. So I'll tell HCF is equals to I. This is HCF is coming for the first time. So I'll declare that variable HCF is equals to 0. Right? Yes. Now don't make the mistake of writing, int HCF. Don't write int HCF. You have to initialize with some value. You give it as 0. Okay, you give it as 0. You have to initialize with some value. Okay. Then after this for loop is completed, whatever you have in HCF, whatever you have in HCF, you have to tell, hey, return that HCF, right? Whatever answer you have, you give it back from where it was called. It was called from this line, right? It was called from this line. So the HCF is kept in this place. Okay. So that's it. Let's see. I'll compile and execute. So enter the first number to find GC. The first number I want to do is I want to enter 10. Enter the second number, it is 15. Right? Yes. So GCD is 5. You have got the output. Now one thing yesterday I told you, right? So you don't want n or m. You want the minimum out of n and m. For that there is inbuilt method, that is math.min. Yes. Out of m and n you want a minimum. So this is what you have to do. Right? Yes. And why it is minimum? Why it has to be minimum? In yesterday's class I have told you. Okay. Yes. So this is how to take input from the user. Okay. Yes, you can take the screenshot here. You just have to keep on practicing, right? The method calls, because you know how to print prime number and all those things. You just don't know maybe how to call a method, right? All those things you have to practice. Then only you can get this experience. Without practice, you can't do it. Okay. Now let's see, right? We have to write a program where user will enter one number. What is that number? That number will be the starting point. From where do we have to start? And the next number will be 50, indicating from that number he wants the next 50 prime numbers. From that number he wants the next 50 prime numbers, right? Okay. So this is what we have to do. Okay, let's see. So first I'll ask the user, right? Now there is no concept called as GCD, so I'll be removing GCD now. I'll be entering enter the starting number of a prime number. Yes, enter the starting number where prime has to start. Right? Enter the starting number where this prime number has to start. Now whatever he has entered, I'll tell it as maybe start. Right? I'll name the variable as start. Then I'll ask enter how many prime numbers do you want from this point? Enter how many prime numbers do you want from this starting prime number. This is the second number which we are going to enter. So I'll name it as maybe I'll name it as next n, right? Int next n is equals to scan dot next int. So this is what I'm telling, right? Yes. So there are two variables, that is start from the number 50. I want the next 5 prime numbers. That 5 is stored in this next n. That is stored in this next n. So let's see now, right? Let's see. So I have to create a method to call to define whether a number is prime or not. So definitely in the future I'm going to use a isPrime method. So let me write this isPrime method. I'm going to write. Now this method does it accept anything? Yes, it accepts one integer type n. It accepts one integer type n because whatever it accepts, it has to check whether that number is prime or not. Does it return anything? Yes, this method I am going to write to tell me whether a given number is boolean or not, prime or not. So return type is boolean. So boolean, this is what I'll be telling. And we also know that it is better to make it as a static, so easily I can call the method. Yes. So this is what you have to understand. Most people will face a problem here. How to define method? Should boolean come before static or after static? Yes. Understand one thing. Boolean should be, return type should be as close to the method name. Right? It should be close to the method name. Static should be at the leftmost side. So here, so what we are supposed to do? Yes, I am supposed to count how many factors are there to determine a prime. So int c I'll make it as 0. and I'll write a for loop where int I better start from 2, I is less than or equals to n by 2, right, n by 2, I plus plus. Here what I have to check, you have to count the factors, means if n mod I, if it's equal to 0, then C plus plus I will tell. This is how to count the factors. But you know that even if there is a 1 prime, right, even if there is a 1 factor, it is not a prime. So after, as soon as you tell C plus plus, immediately you tell a break. Then outside the for loop, you are checking one condition. If your C value is equal to 0, if it's equal to 0, means that it is a prime number. Okay, it is a prime. So return true value. For this, if there is one else part where I have to return false. Okay, this is what we'll be telling. This is my is prime method. Done. So here what do I check? I have to check, right? So there is a person who has told if from this number it has to start. Okay, so if he entered 50, let's imagine he has entered 50 here, right? Entered 50 is input. So from 50 I have to start searching, whether 50 is prime or not, 51 is prime or not, like that. So I'll be writing a for loop here where int I should start from that starting number. What is start? This is a variable which user has entered, right? User has entered the value that is stored in this variable start. Now whatever user has stored in the start, that start you give it to I. So for loop will start from that number. Then what means condition? If user tells from this 50 number I want the next 20 prime numbers, do you know what's the ending range for the 20? You don't know, so leave the condition as it is. I plus plus should happen every time. So what should I write here? I have to check, hey, if this result is equal to true. What is this result? That result, okay, that is of the type boolean. Okay, what it will contain? It will contain the result of is a prime method. I'll be calling like this. I'll tell, hey, this I value, is it a prime? If it is a prime, store yes, store true in the result. If it is not a prime, store false in the result. So if the number is true, if a number is prime, so what I will tell? I'll tell a system.out.println. I'll be telling print what you want to print. Print that I value whatever is a prime number. If it is a prime, print that prime. So if I compile and execute, watch here. I have not told the ending condition. Watch here. It is asking me enter the number where the prime has to start, 50. I'll hit enter. Enter how many prime numbers do you want? I want maybe next 5 prime numbers. You can see here it is keep on going, right? There is no end to it because there is no ending condition. It's an infinite loop, as you can see, right? But if you notice, definitely I'll stop this. All of them will be the prime numbers. All of them are prime numbers. So it will keep on giving me the prime numbers without a stop. It will give me prime numbers. But how do I put a stop? User has told, right? After some values you have to stop. Where is that number stored? After next n values, the prime number has to stop. So I'll tell here, okay, it should be less than next n. It should be less than next n. And I've told you, if a variable, there is some variable here. If that variable, I have not written which variable, right? If that variable starts from 0 and if it is less than n, the for loop will execute for next n times. Right? Here I'll tell prime count, right? Prime count. Here I'll tell prime count should be less than the next n. Here initially I have to tell int prime count equal to 0. Okay, int prime count equal to 0. So what I wanted to understand is in the for loop it is always this concept which is there. What is the concept? If a variable starts from 0 and if you write in the condition 0 is less than next n, which means the for loop will execute for next n times. Okay, the for loop will execute for next n times. Okay, so here immediately after printing I, I'll tell prime count should increment. So prime count plus this is what I will tell. So whenever you print a prime number, increment the count also. So how many times you have to print a prime number? That next n times, because that's the condition which I had given. Now I'll tell you one thing. Those who are facing the difficulty here, those who are feeling difficulty, you don't worry at all, because there is an inbuilt method which I'll be teaching in programming. In the inbuilt method, you just have to tell is prime or not. All those things methods are there. Okay, you don't have to even think for prime number logic here. But why I am teaching? maybe if they ask in the interview, you have to use this. But if they don't ask right from the scratch, there is an inbuilt method. In the one line, you can get to know whether it is prime or not, or you can get to know what is the next prime number. All these things we'll be seeing in the classes. Okay. Now, if I compile and execute, enter the starting number. Starting number is 100, right? How much number do you want? I want the next 3 prime numbers. So you can see from the 100, I got the next 3 prime numbers. Okay. So I want you to take this as screenshot here. Okay. Yes. Take this screenshot. Yeah. Yes. Yes, you can take this screenshot, and the is prime method is the same there. So I hope this is clear, right? I hope this is clear. Okay. So like this, please go back and try to solve the other programs using by taking the input from the user. Okay. So before I teach you the inbuilt methods, right, where you can get to know whether a number is prime number or not. So before I go to that topic, one thing I want to tell you, because maybe most of you are beginner here and you might not know about method calls and all. So watch here. What I'll be writing is simply I'll be writing a method call as check. Okay, and here I'll tell, in double quotes, this is a check, okay, with the 0 parameters. Okay, 0 parameters. Okay. So, and next thing what I'd like to do is I'll copy this and I'll tell. So here I'll be accepting one integer. So integer type A. This is what I'll tell. This is a check with the one integer parameter. Then so that you can understand what is happening here, I'll be writing a check method. See, method should have what? Method should have a return type. Yes, it doesn't return anything, so return type is void. Why had return static? Because for me it will be easier to call the method. That's the only reason. Or else if you don't write static, create an object, call the method. Here I'll be maybe telling it is a float, okay, or let's say double type, right? Double type A. Yes. So this is a check method with one not integer parameter but double parameter. Okay, this is called as double parameter. Yes. So let's see now what will happen, right? I want to execute this check method. So if you want to call the check method, directly call the check method like this. Yes, you can do it because it is in the same class and it is a static here. Let's see. I have compiled, and when I execute, so it is telling yes, check with 0 parameters is activated, right? And that, okay, now watch here. So how it will execute? Yes, it will see you have called check method, but there are many check methods. There is a check method here, there is a check method here, there is a check method here. Which check method will execute? Though that check method will execute which has 0 parameter. Oh, is it? Then what we will do? Sir, I will create one more check method with 0 parameter, and here I will tell check part 2, check part 2 with the 0 parameter. Can I do like this? Watch here. What will happen is, watch here. See, it will tell method check is already defined, method check is already there with 0 parameter. How can you write again? So this we can't do. Okay, this we can't do. So check method should be there. It can be there any number of times. Any method can have check name, but if it has a name, it should not have the same number of parameters. If it has the same number of parameters, it should not have in the same order. Yes. For example, this is a core Java concept. So watch here. I'll tell check and I'll pass this 5. So since I pass, now which check method will be activated? First, it will see, okay, which method did you call? So we have called check method. So it will tell, yes, I am a check method. He will tell, I am a check method. This person will also tell, I am also check method. Give the control to me. I will execute. This person is telling. This person will also tell, hey, I am also check method. Give the control to me. I will execute. Now what will compiler do? He will tell, hey, that check method should execute who is going to accept one integer type value. Now out of these 3 things, which is a check method which is accepting integer type value, this is the check method. So this method will execute. So what will be the output now? Check one integer parameters. So let's see. If I execute, okay, see, check one integer parameter. Now I would like to give 5.6. This is a double value, right? This is very huge here. This is a double value. So when I compile and execute, which method will execute? So what will happen? It will tell, hey, I want a check method to execute. When it tells something like this, all the check methods will stand up. All the check methods. Hey, I am also check method. I am also check method. I am also check method. So next he will tell, I want such a check method who will accept double type data. So there is only one check method who is going to accept double type data, and this will execute. So output will be what? Check one double parameters. See, check one double parameters. I hope it is clear. Now this concept is called as what? This concept is called as method overloading. Okay, this concept is called as method overloading. Yes. So I want you to understand here. This is called as method overloading. So watch here. It is like this. Okay, it is like this. Imagine you want to add two numbers, right? You want to add two numbers. So if you want to add two numbers, right? So what you have to do? You have to call a method called as add. You have to call a method called as add. Which means, okay, here I will be calling a add method, where I will be passing two numbers. One is 5 and one is 3. So this add method is accepting two integers, right? Integer type A and integer type B. It is accepting two integers. What is it has to print? It has to print the addition of them. What, that is A plus B. This is what I have to tell. This method got one A variable. This method got one B variable. You just print the addition of them. That is what I have to tell. Okay, fine. So if I remove this, right? If I remove all this, watch here. Now how this method overloading is helpful, that we have to understand. Okay, so to add two integers, right? To add two integers, I have to call the method called as what? Add int. Because to add two integers, I have to call method called as add int. Okay. Then to add to float, or let's say to add to double, I'll copy this and I'll paste. I have to call a method called as add double, right? Add double I have to tell, where it accepts double type A. I'm sorry, right? Yes, it accepts double type A and double type B. Yes, it accepts double A, double B, and it adds them. Yes, like this, there can be integer plus double, double plus integer, integer plus double. All these things can be there. For example, I can write something like this also, right? I can write add 5, 3, 5. So now it is an add method which accepts 3 parameters. So I can tell like this. So I'll copy this and I'll paste here. There is an add method which accepts int A, int B, and int C, and it adds that C here. This is what I can tell. So if you can notice, don't you think what you want to fundamentally do? You want to fundamentally add all the numbers. To add all the numbers, you are simply creating different methods with different name. Imagine that you as a programmer in a company created these methods. Now the person who is using these methods, don't think he'll be getting confused here? Because every time whenever he wants to add, he wants to look at the sheet and he has to think, okay, I want to add one integer, one float, one double, one maybe byte type. Which is the method I have to call? Every time he has to see the table so that he gets to know if I have to add integer and a double, which method I have to call. That's why to eradicate that confusion, there is a concept called as method overloading. What is this beautiful method overloading? It is that, hey, you can have the same name. If you want to add something, you have the same name, no problem, so that you will not get confused. So if you want to add an integer and a float, what's the method name? Add. If you want to add a double and a double, method name is add. So if all the method name is add only, don't you think the compiler will get confused? He will tell don't worry, because compiler can differentiate using the how many parameters you are passing, what types of parameter you are passing. It can differentiate easily. So that is what it is. Okay. So you don't have to give a different name for a method. If you have the same name, it will see which method you are calling by the type of parameter you are passing. You are calling add method. Okay. So what will happen? Add method, this will get executed, this will get activated, this add method gets activated, this add method gets activated. Then the compiler will tell, hey, I want such a add method who will accept one integer and one integer. So who will accept 3 integer? So this add method will tell, I am a person who will accept 3 integer. Let me execute, he will tell. So when I compile and execute, watch here, what is A plus B plus C? Right? Here The answer is 5 plus 3 plus 5, that is 13. So answer will be 13 here, as you can see, right? Yes. So I want to tell a story so that you will understand very clearly, right? So watch here. The story of this goes like this. It is very simple story, very easy to understand. So there was a person, right? There was a person called as Salman. So there was a person called as Salman. Salman is a famous celebrity now. So Salman had many workers, right? He had many workers. He had a person whose name was Vijay. What this Vijay is supposed to do? Vijay is supposed to clean the house. Okay, he is supposed to clean the house. Then there was one more person for Salman who is working under Salman. So that person's name was Ajay, right? Ajay. So what is this Ajay supposed to do? This Ajay was supposed to drive. He was a driver. So he was a driver. Okay. So next there was a person called as Parajay. Okay, there was a person called as Parajay. What is Parajay supposed to do? He was supposed to call the clients, right? He was supposed to call the clients. So like this, he had seven. Okay, he had 7 assistants under him. But Salman is a very busy person. So what he'll always get confused. So what he will tell is the person who is supposed to call, right? That is Parajay. He will tell Parajay, Parajay, you clean the house. Now Parajay will get sad. Why? Because he is such a person who has a reputation. How can he clean the house? Like this. So don't you think here the names will be confused? If you have so many people in your house and you will forget who is supposed to do what work. Yes, that's why now Salman Khan will announce something. What will Salman Khan announce? Salman Khan announces that, hey, you 7 people, hey, Ajay, Vijay, Parajay, whatever your name is changed now. I will change your name. What will be your new name? Your new name will be Ramu Kaka, like this, simply, for the namesake I'm telling. Hey, all of your name is Ramu Kaka, I will tell like this. Now all of them has understood. Okay, so the problem with Salman is he can't remember our name. That is why he was given as Ramu Kaka. For us, no problem. He has given us salary. For us, that is fine. So all of them are happy with the name Ramu Kaka. Now, Salman will come from work. He will tell Ramu Kaka. Now when he tells Ramu Kaka, don't you think all the 7 people will stand up? They will tell, yes, I am Ramu Kaka, I am Ramu Kaka, I am Ramu Kaka. They will tell like this. Then Salman will tell, hey, I want such a Ramu Kaka, I want such a Ramu Kaka who will prepare me my food. So that person who is supposed to prepare his food, he will tell, okay, I am that person. You tell me what you want, I will bring it to you. Yes, that job is done. The next day he will tell, hey, Ramu Kaka. Then what will happen? All the 7 people will stand up. Then he will tell, hey, I want such a Ramu Kaka who will drive my car. Then that driver will come. Right? Now I want you to understand one thing, right? He will again call Ramu Kaka. Then all the Ramu Kaka will stand up. Then he will tell, I want such a Ramu Kaka who did not sweep the floor last night, who is supposed to sweep the floor last night. Then that Ramu Kaka will come, right? Now imagine one thing, the person who is a neighbor of this person, right? What he might be thinking, hey, this Ramu Kaka is a single person, this single person is doing all the job, right? Because he can't see what is going on inside the house. What he can hear that a Ramu Kaka is cleaning the floor also, Ramu Kaka is cooking this dinner also, Ramu Kaka is a driver also. Is Ramu Kaka doing all the 7 work? Is it multi-talented? So this is what the neighbor will think. Because as you can see, the name suggests, right? Ramu Kaka, do everything you are telling. So what is the other person thinking? The other person is thinking that Ramu Kaka's work is overloaded, right? Ramu Kaka's work is overloaded. Why? Because Ramu Kaka is only doing everything. This is the concept of method overloading, right? This is the name, method overloading, because everyone thinks that a one method is doing all the task. Not like that, right? Ramu Kaka is not doing all the thing. Actually, the name is same, but the persons are different. Same thing like that in the code also. The name is same, but the methods are different. So if you are thinking, if someone asks what is method overloading, you should clearly tell. In method overloading, nothing is overloaded, right? In method overloading, is anything overloaded? No, nothing is overloaded. No one is overloaded. Everyone have their task. It is simple task. They have their task. So in method overloading, nothing is overloaded. So why is the name called as method overloading? Because it is a virtual, right? It is virtual. Because by the name we can see that one task, right, one method is doing many tasks, that is why the name is there. So this is what you can tell. Okay, so I hope you understood what is this method overloading here. So one thing you have to understand, let's imagine one thing. So so see, there is a method called as welcome. So I will tell, okay, method name is void static, it's a static here. So I hope you have understood what is the concept of method overloading here. Okay, so static void, the method is welcome. Okay, method is welcome, method name can be anything, welcome. So when I call welcome, system.out.println, right, println, here I will check something, right, what I'll print is, okay, welcome to my programming class. This is what I'll tell, welcome to my programming class. I have told something like this. So what do I have to do to execute this welcome method? You just have to call the method, you just have to tell welcome like this, that's it. Okay, and I think I have done a spelling mistake there. Okay, yes, I have to tell welcome like this. So when I call this welcome method gets executed. So simple. Oh, okay, what is this? I think yes, somewhere I have done wrong. System.out.println. Okay, let's see what's the error message. What's the error message here? System.out.println, yes, method name, println, n is missing there. Okay, so when I compiled and when I executed, right, see, welcome to my programming class. Yes, what I'll tell now is I'll change here int, maybe int a. I have told some int a here, something like this. So when I'll try to execute now will it execute? No. It will tell, hey, there is no such method called as welcome, because what you are trying to execute, you are trying to execute a method called as welcome which accepts how many parameters? 0 parameters. You tell me, is there any method which accepts 0 parameters? No. There is a method which accepts how many parameters? 1 integer parameter. So if you want to execute the, yes, I know, right, it is there is no relation between this int a and welcome to my programming class, but what can I do? The developer who has developed this method, has defined this method in this way. Okay, the developer who has created this method has defined this method in this way. If he has already defined, can I change that defined method? No, you can't go and manually change this because it is already there. And if you want to call the welcome method, what do you have to do? You have to, since you have to follow that rules, you simply give a number, any number, maybe like this, you give a number. It doesn't matter what number you give, until you follow the rules. What is the rules? Rules is you have to pass one number. So compilation, no problem. When I execute, you notice here, welcome to my programming class, you can see, right? So what I wanted to tell you is, sometimes your inbuilt method, it takes some input. That is, it accepts one integer value a, b and all. You have to understand that it has no relation with your method, but since you have to follow the rules, because inbuilt method is already defined, since you have to follow the rules, sometimes you have to give some number which has no relation at all. Okay, that you have to understand, because don't get confused, what is this 24, all those things, you don't get confused. Why? Because you can pass any number, so that you will call that method which is supposed to be called. So I hope, so if I compile and execute, I'll be getting the same output, right? Because if you want to call this method, right, you have to pass an integer like that. Okay, so after explaining all of these things, right, I want to explain you how can you call, right, how can you call an inbuilt method to check whether a given number is prime or not. Okay, watch here. So there is a class called as, okay, so what's the method? Maybe the method name is, maybe I'll tell next prime number. So there is a method called as next prime number. What's the method name? The method name is next prime number. Okay, but it is not a simple next prime. The method name is next probable prime. What's the method name? The method name is next probable prime. So what's the next probable prime, right? Don't by heart it as next prime, it is next probable prime. So don't you think this is a method here? This method should be present in some class. Agree? This method should be present in some class. What is that class name? Right? That class name is big integer. The class name is what? Big integer. Which means if you have to call the method, I have to create big integer object. Yes, I'll tell big integer. Okay, big integer b is equals to new big integer. Big integer b is equals to new big integer. So this is the way to create one object. And using that b, I'll be telling like this. Okay, I'll tell a b dot next probable prime, and I would like to print it. So system dot out dot println, right? Println. I'll print what I'll print. I'll print the next prime of the b. So what I'm asking is, I'm asking from the b. I am asking from the b what is the next prime number. That's what I'm asking. But tell me one thing. Did you give anything to the b value? Did you give anything to the b value? You have not given anything. Now give something. What you have to give? Give a number. Maybe I'll tell the number as 2. I'll tell the number as 2. Sir, why have you given number 2 here? You know, why have you given in the string format? Can't you give in the integer format? As I have told in the previous case, you have to give string format only, because that is how it is defined. It is defined in such a way that if you give a string value, then only it will initialize. Okay, that is what it is. So if I compile, watch here, if I compile, what will happen? Okay, it will tell it can't find big integer. It is telling it can't find big integer, which means you have to help it to see. Now this big integer is present in some class, right? It is present in which class? You have to import, right? You have to import. Why? Because I'll tell you one thing very clearly. Okay, watch here. See, this is the thing where you will be getting to know how to get the inbuilt classes, where it is present, where it is stored. Watch here carefully. Now go to the C drive. In the C drive, go for the program files, right? Go for the program files. In the program files, there is a folder called as Java. Go inside that Java folder. There is something called as JDK. Go inside that JDK folder. There is something called as SRC, which is a zip file. You have to unzip it, and once you have unzipped it, I have already unzipped it here. So I'll be opening this zip file SRC2. Yes. Can you see here Java? Java dot util. Can you see util? Util dot, yes, star. Okay. So I hope you are able to see. Okay, that. Okay, maybe I can explain it to you here like this. So when I return scanner, right? Scan is equals to new scanner. Okay, watch here carefully. Scanner new scanner. If I tell system dot in, okay, and if I compile, okay, watch here carefully. This is the point which I not told in the last time, but now I'll tell now. What it is telling? It is telling that, hey, I cannot find symbol scanner. I cannot find symbol scanner. So if it cannot find symbol scanner, I have to help it. Why? I'll tell you why later. So you have to tell where is this scanner present. Don't you think scanner is present in a Java dot? There is a package util dot. Dot means go inside that folder. Inside that folder, you can see there is a file here called as a scanner. I hope you are able to see. You are telling this is the file which will help me to take the input. So I import that. Sir, why are you importing? Why? Because by default it is not imported. By default nothing is important, but something is important. What is that something? I'll tell you. By default, Java dot. Can you see a lang package? Lang package. Lang dot. Yes, lang dot packages are imported by default. Lang dot packages. Okay. For example, can you see math here? Can you see math class? Yes. Math class is present in which package? It is present in lang package. Since it is present in lang package, you didn't have to import it. For example, if I write here, right? If I write system dot out dot println. If I write println, what I have to print? Print math, right? Math dot py. I have told print math dot py. Tell me, did I import the math class now? No, I have not imported the math class. Though I have not imported the math class, it is executing. How? Because math class is present in lang package, and all the lang packages are imported by default. You can see here string. Did you import string? No. Did you import system? No. Remember one thing, in Java if you want to execute any class, if you want to use any class, that class must be imported. Okay, that class must be imported. Now tell me, did you import system? No. Did you import a string? No. So if you notice here, if I press yes, right? If I press string, can you see here string here? Can you see system? Yes, there is a system. Can you see string here? Yes, there is a string. So I hope you are understanding the classes which are present in a lang package, you don't have to import them. So where is this scanner present? Scanner is present in util package. So java.util.scanner. Don't you think scanner is present here? Yes, scanner is present here. So if you want to import that, what you have to tell? Okay, if you want to import scanner, if you are using scanner here, so if I compile now, watch here, what it will tell? It will tell cannot find symbol. It doesn't know where is this scanner present. So you have to import by telling import from where? Go to the Java folder. Dot means go inside that folder. Util dot, go inside that util package. There is a class called a scanner. So you can write java.util.scanner. I am telling get the scanner from where? From Java. Inside that folder there is a util. Inside that folder there is a scanner. So when I compile now, watch here. It will not tell me there is any error, right? Yes, compilation no problem because it has found from where to fetch the scanner. Same thing like that, same thing like that. If you want to use big integer, right? If you want to use big integer, and how do you give a value to a big integer? If you have to give a value, you have to give string value only. But if I compile, what will it tell? It will tell that cannot find the symbol called as big integer. Why? Because it's a class. You have to import the class. Now where is this big integer present? Let me help you. So big integer is present in Java dot. It is present in math dot. Can you see big integer here? Yes, right. So where it is present? Java dot math dot big integer. So I have to import in such a way. Okay, I have to tell import. Okay, Java dot math dot big integer, right? Java dot math dot big integer. I hope it is clear for everyone here. If I tell like this, it will import the big integer. It understand what is big integer. It gets to know what and all methods are there in big integer. So when I execute, watch here carefully. Can you see the answer is 3? Why? Because from the 2, what is the next prime number? Answer is 3. So I will change the value, right? I will change the value to maybe 10, maybe 11, or let's say 10. From the 10, what is the next prime number? That is 11, right? From the 10, the next prime number is 11. So I'll get the answer as what? I'll get the answer as 11. So I hope it is clear. Now you might be thinking, sir, can I give integer 10 here? Can I give integer 10? No. Okay, because there is a rule. Because whenever this developer created this big integer class, he has made one rule. What rule he has made? Hey, if you want to give any values, you must be giving it in a string type. So let's give in a string type. I'll pass the number 20. I'm asking from the number 20, what is the next prime number? So if I compile and execute, it is 23. Then I'll ask, hey, from the 23, what is the next prime number? Right? What's the next prime number? 23 is also a prime number, but it will not print 23 answer itself. Even though 23 is a prime number, it will give you the next prime number, that is 29. Right? So I hope this is very simple, very easy to understand program. Okay? I hope everyone has understood here. Please take this screenshot. Please take this screenshot. So I hope you have taken the screenshot. So I want you to understand here one thing. Whatever 23 is there, it is given to which variable? B. Now you are telling from the B means from the 23, what is the next prime, probable prime? What is the next prime number? So that is what it is. Now I will be telling you the next method here. How you have next probable prime? Same way like that, you have a method called as is probable prime. Simple. How do you have next probable prime? Same thing like that, you have is probable prime. So previously we had written a method called as is prime. The inbuilt method is probable, probable prime. So what it will check is, it will check whether the given number 23 is it a prime or not. It will check. This will be very helpful for us. So if I compile, let's see, it will show me an error. Why? I'll tell you why. So why it is like this, because it requires what? It requires one integer type, but it has found no arguments. which means what they're telling, they're telling, hey, here you have to pass one number. Why? Without any reason, you don't have to know any reason, simply you have to pass a number. Okay, you have to pass a number. If you want me to show it to you, watch here carefully. If I double click this big integer, I'll be getting its class, I'll be getting how this class is created, what and all methods are there in this class. So if I tell find, I have pressed Ctrl F so that I can find here. I would like to find the method is probable prime. So I am searching for the is probable prime. Can you see the method here? Yes, this method is very clear, right? So is probable prime is a method which returns a boolean value. It will tell us whether a given number is a prime or not, means yes or no, means true or false. It will give us true or false. But don't you think this is prime is a method which is accepting one number? Yes, so you have to pass a number, there is no other way, because the developer has developed in such a way that you have to pass a number. So let me pass some random number here, right? So let me pass one random number. So here I have passed a random number. So I am checking whether 23 is a prime or not. Okay, is a 23 prime number? Let's see. It will tell true, means yes, 23 is a prime number. Okay, I'll check whether this 20 is a prime or not. 20 is prime or not. I have compiled, and let's see when I execute, is 20 a prime number? Let's see here, a false, 20 is not a prime number. I hope it is clear, right? Now most of the people will get confused here. Where they will get confused? They'll think that if we are checking whether 57875 is that a prime. No, we are not checking for that to be a prime number or not. Okay, we are not checking that number has no relation with the prime number or not. We are checking whether this B, is it a prime or not. We are checking whether this B is prime or not. That what's the B value? B value is 20. So we are checking whether 20 is prime or not, which means it doesn't matter whatever value I give. I can give the value 245. So it will not check 245 is prime or not. Okay, so it will check the B value. What's the B value? 20. It will check whether the 20 is prime or not. It is false. If I give for 23, right? Is 23 a prime number? Yes, 23 is a prime number. So if I compile and execute, watch here, it will tell true. Okay, is 245 a prime number? No, 245 is divisible by 5. So definitely it is not a prime number. So we are checking prime number not for the number we have passed as an argument, but for the value of B here. So I hope it is very clear for everyone. So if you want to know, if you want to check whether a given number is prime or not, you have to write it in this way. Okay, so but one thing let me tell you, right? What will happen if you give a negative value, maybe minus 2? Tell me, is 20 a prime number? Is 20 a prime number? No, 20 is not a prime number. So you should tell false. Instead of telling false, what it is telling? True only. Why? Let's see. I'll give the value 0, right? I'll give the value 0. I'll compile, and when I execute, right, what will I get? Is 20 a prime number? It is not a prime number. It should have told false, but it is telling true. But when I enter the value 1, when I enter the number 1, is 20 a prime number? No, 20 is not a prime number. It should tell false. It should tell false, and it is telling false, right? Why it is like that? Let me show it in the code here. So how this developer has developed this method? Let's see. He has told that, hey, whatever number you pass, it is stored in which variable? Certainty. And if that certainty, if that is less than or equals to 0, if it is a negative number, or if it is equal to 0, always return what value? True value, right? So if he has told the number you pass, if it is 0 or less than 0, always give the answer as true only, right? Which means even if you pass a non-prime number, it will tell prime number. Even if you pass a prime number, it will tell prime number only. If that condition is false, then only he told, okay, if the value is not 0, hey, then you properly calculate whether it is prime or not. So what you have to understand now, this is probable prime is a method where if you pass a value which is 0 or not, so whether it is prime or whether it is not a prime, it will always tell true only. It will always tell true. Okay, it will always tell true. It is true here, right? And if I tell 20 is not a prime, but also it will tell true. Why? Because you have to understand that you have to give a positive integer. You have to give a positive integer, non-zero integer. So let's give non-zero integer. Any integer is fine, any integer is fine. So I have told, check whether this 20 is prime or not. 20 is not a prime, so I'll definitely get a proper answer here. So it is false. So I hope it is clear for you. So this was the basics of the big integer. In the future classes, I'll be explaining more about this big integer. Okay. So for today, this is enough. I want you to try to take input from the user. Okay. To take input from the user and create this big integer programs. So one question I'll ask you, right? Maybe you have taken input from the integer format. Integer n is equal to 5 you have taken. How do you give this 5 value, right? How do you give this 5 value to b? Because if you write an n, if you write a n value, don't you think n is an integer type? And integer type, if you give it to big integer, there is a problem. Now how do you convert this n to big integer? I have clearly told you, right? You can tell empty string plus n. Why empty string plus n? Because string plus anything is a string. So string plus value of n 5, which is integer type, becomes string 5. Okay, I want you to understand this. Now you know we are asking whether this 5 is a prime or not. So watch here. Okay, if I compile and execute, I'll get yes, 5 is a prime number. So I hope you have understood here what we are doing. What we are doing here, we are converting an integer value to a string value. Sir, can I write space n? Don't write space. Okay, if you write space, there will be a problem. Not in this maybe, right? But in the other cases it will be a problem. As you can see, you should not give spaces. Because if you give space plus 5, you will be having space 5. Space 5 is not a 5, right? If you want 5, you have to give empty string plus n. Okay, empty string plus anything is a string. So in this way, we will be converting, and if I compile and execute, I'll be getting the output. Please take this as a screenshot. And definitely, if you have liked this video, if you have understood the concept, please press like button and do share my videos to your friends. Okay, and do subscribe to my channel. So please take this screenshot, and I hope you have taken a screenshot. Have a good day. Thank you for watching this video.